I'm not trying to spread hopium in this video, and we've had false dawns before, but I'm simply saying that the narrative is nowhere near as strong and coherent as it was 6 months to a year ago, and that's obviously very positive. This time last year, for example, it seemed almost impenetrable, but in the past few weeks it's begun to lose cohesion. Now, things of course still look bad when you go down to your local supermarket and everyone's wearing their mask, but that domino simply hasn't fallen yet in the real world. The coalface of this information war is the mainstream media versus the alternative media, and that's playing out online. That's where the public are increasingly turning their attention to. In the final days of the Soviet Union, everyone knew the propaganda was all bullshit and they were living a lie. They were simply going through the motions, going along to get along. Likewise, people are wearing the mask because that's simply what's required of them right now, and most people don't like to rock the boat or stand up or stand out. But that doesn't mean that they aren't quietly questioning what's happening and realizing that none of it makes any sense. The powers that shouldn't be are now having to do everything in their power to protect the narrative from breaking, and it will only become more difficult for them to do that as time goes on. Of course, the censorship will likely increase, unfortunately. The government will become more aggressive and threatening, but the people will become more despondent and fatigued and skeptical, and the fear cannot be restored to March 2020 levels. That time is past. But of course, to sound a note of caution, perhaps, we are merely watching them try to gradually put the COVID crisis to bed so as to launch the climate agenda into overdrive and use that as the next major crisis to once again control the population. I personally think that's going to be a much harder sell at this point, but they will probably give it a good go. As I've said before, the key power players behind Agenda 2030, the Great Reset, the New World Order, they've invested far too much time, money and energy in their plans to simply wave a white flag now and give up, especially when general compliance has been so high. They have successfully destroyed the economy to try to make way for a new one, complete with digital currencies, digital identity and a social credit system. They've jabbed most of the population, so who knows what the long-term effects will be on public health. They've caused untold harm from delayed hospital care for all manner of health conditions, which will become clear over the coming years. They've fractured society further. The true toll of the past 2 years is yet to be truly felt. But if public trust in government, media and institutions does begin to collapse, perhaps we might begin to see a new period of healthy public skepticism emerge, and that could go a long way to derailing the future plans of the cabal.